Recon Athlete Podcast is brought to you by Kreitz Market, The Social, and Focus Fit San Marcos. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 105. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Luceto. Sorry I'm late, guys. It was my fault. My bad. I pulled a Zach on y'all tonight. Shout out to BJ, already trying to trade or trying to get Leonard Fournette off me. I mean, why would I want to trade Leonard Fournette right now? I don't know what's going to happen with him. I mean, I've drafted him as my one running back in our one running back league. So we have a 14-team league. We got one running back, two wide receivers, and three flex positions. It's because it's a 14-team league. Mm-hmm. So the way I set it up originally was to, when you have 14 teams, you don't want to do two running backs, right?
I wouldn't.
Right. So I set up one running back, two wide receivers, and then three flex positions. Running back, wide receiver, tight end. Only because it's that's just the best way to do that with 14 teams. Two running backs, 14 teams. That's almost impossible. So now Leonard Fournette's been released by the Jaguars, could be possibly picked up by, what were you saying, Paul?
There's rumors out there that he may go with New England or with Tampa Bay. It just kind of depends on if they want to pay that kind of price for him, potentially in the future, because he's still on his rookie deal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. And, when I got Leonard Fournette in my 14-team league, I also picked up, Armstead, the backup. I also just picked up Chris Thompson, just because we don't know what's happening in the Jaguars backfield. And I know BJ was already trying to set this trade up, because he called me earlier this afternoon and was like, hey man, Leonard Fournette, he's going to be really good if he gets picked up somewhere, and I wouldn't want anything to do with any of the Jaguars backfield and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
then why are you talking?
Yeah. So I had Deebo Samuel and I've drafted him. Of course, he's out, so I was able to put him in my IR spot. We got 2 IR spots in that league because of 14 teams and of COVID-19.
Yeah.
So I put Deebo in a IR spot, and then I went and picked up Chris Thompson.
Okay.
So I've got Armstead and Thompson, and the reason why I did that was just because I was picked 10 out of 14. So I went receiver at the beginning. Okay. Or no, actually, you know what? No. Take that back. I went receiver quarterback. I went Julio Jones, Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
14 teams.
Yeah.
I wanted to get one of the top 3 guys at that position.
Yeah, tier 1.
Tier 1. So I went Julio Jones at 10, came back around to me. Lamar Jackson was still there, so I scooped him up.
Smart.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I went there, and so I waited a little bit for running back, and I ended up getting Leonard Fournette. I don't know what's going to happen with him. We shall see.
Yeah.
But I'm confident enough in his ability as a running back to wherever he lands. If it's New England or if it's Tampa Bay, I'm going to have a guy that's top 10.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I was on my phone. I was trying to make a post with our link so I could, tag Kreitz Market. Shout out Kreitz Market this weekend, Labor Day. Get in your orders. Call them locally. Look them up on the web. Place your orders there. I think they can do same-day shipping if it's in the continental U.S. 2-day shipping. I think it's standard for them. So I'm looking forward to that. I was actually there yesterday. Went to go pick up some dinner for me and my pops, Papa Romeo. Shout out. And bro, it was good. I was in and out. Mask up real quick, get in. They got the 6 feet lines for everybody can stay social distanced, and serving one person. As one person checks out, another person's walking into the pit area. But yeah, get the specials. Check them out. Go to KreitzMarket.com. Call them locally. Just look them up on Google and place your orders, because even if you order, I think on Friday, they can still get you their product by Saturday for the barbecue weekend. And I have a feeling, if I know Keith Schmidt the way I know him, they're probably going to be open Monday. So if you want to run through Lockhart, stop by. Take bottles of water with you all, because you're going to be standing in line and it's going to be hot outside.
Yeah. go to the Kreitz Market. I'm sorry, I've been
What's up?
totally. So Reed, shout out Texas Point Outdoors, our other sponsor, feature sponsor, Mr. Reed Coleman. He's saying breaking news: Fournette is now with the Bucks.
Wow, Tampa Bay.
Hold on, I gotta Google
Get this, Reed, bro. Thank you.
It doesn't say anything though. I don't see it. Oh, 14 minutes ago. Yep.
Come on, man.
14 minutes ago.
Come on, bro.
14 minutes ago.
Oh,
ESPN.com.
Look at BJ trying to come in all.
Leonard Fournette has a new home.
We're trying to get ready for the show. BJ wants to
running
be
back
cool.
has been. This is ESPN.com.
If BJ calls that phone, do not answer it. BJ, you are in timeout, sir. You are in timeout.
Leonard Fournette has a new home. ESPN.com. The running back has agreed in principle to a deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He confirmed on social media Wednesday night, just days after he was waived after a turbulent 3-year stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You ready for this? You ready for this?
Tell me.
Championship.
I mean,
bro.
For real? I mean, you have a number one running back.
That's
now.
all they really missed.
You have a guy.
And he can compensate for a average offensive line.
Yeah.
Dude. And if you're going to be attacking the flats with Gronk and with Howard, over the top with
Godwin,
with Evans and Godwin,
yeah,
dude, you're telling me you can like play action off all that, bro?
I mean,
yeah. Goal line,
yeah,
dude, just get close.
So earlier, I had in that league, I had moved Leonard Fournette out of my starting lineup, so I'm gonna put him back in.
I think so too. You know, I had my my other draft this past weekend. We were at I guess you could call it a compound. I mean,
yeah.
There was earth movers, there was gun ranges, there was pools, there was palm trees, you know, that kind of stuff. And I didn't do so great in that one. That was a little bit more competitive than the one I was in with Recon. But I do have Fournette in my league with Recon, and so I think I might have to activate him instead of Mark Ingram, because I moved Ingram up when the waivers cleared, and so I was like, well, let's see what happens. I think I'll put him back in.
Yeah, and that's the thing about running back though. Like, so a lot of people might think, you know, okay, he just got with the team, you know, season's about to start here in a week or two. He's got to learn the playbook, blah blah blah. At the running back position, there's really not a whole lot you have to like learn. I mean, maybe like the pass protection part, but if you're running the football, you just got to know which hole to hit.
Bruce Arians is gonna make this easy.
Yeah,
and Bruce Arians is a deep ball kind of coach. Like, that's what he likes to do.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the guys the running backs he's kind of coached along, maybe Edgerrin James comes back and kind of mentors Leonard Fournette a little bit. Maybe, you know, there's a little bit of learning curve. Tom can kind of help out, spend some extra time with Fournette to kind of get him ready. But Tom gets the ball out quick. You really don't need to pick up pass blitzes with him, because Tom will read it, make the adjustment with the line call, and then he'll get the ball out quick away from it. Or into it if he needs to. Yeah,
so, you know, and this has got to totally change Leonard Fournette's mindset. You know, I mean, he was on a team that was, you know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, how many years ago were they in the AFC Championship game? It wasn't too long, like 4 years ago.
2 or 3 years
ago. 2 or 3 years ago, right? With Tom Coughlin at the helm. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't very long ago that the Jacksonville Jaguars were like at the close to the top of the pinnacle of the AFC. They took a big deep dive. Big, like, just fall.
Yeah.
Now everybody's expecting them just to tank so they can try to get Trevor Lawrence, you know, next year in the draft.
Well, all their top echelon talent, they've just been giving away or trading away or letting them walk.
Right.
And so I don't know why they're doing it for a reason. Fine.
Right. So, you know, Leonard Fournette's got to be like just on top of the world right now. All of a sudden, you go from being on a bottom feeder, cellar dweller team to a possible Super Bowl champion team.
And that bottom dweller, you had to be the guy on offense. Because who did they have? Blake Bortles?
What? I mean
Gardner Minshew. Afterwards,
okay. Don't get us wrong. Come on now. Let's be real.
Listen,
full disclosure.
Minshew is a great marketer.
Full disclosure. Minshew mania. We were all about it back last year
because it was hype and it was energy.
We were all about it.
It was fun. And then midway through the season, Minshew, who? I mean, we really did right like that.
But we were all about it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not. I know I was.
I'm not saying I'm not, but I'm saying, hey, Budweiser, Bud Light, they're rocking with Minshew right now. He's got to advertise with them.
That's true.
He can market. I'm not saying that, but dude, you got to ball too.
Yeah.
But now Leonard Fournette doesn't have to be the guy in Tampa.
Okay.
He's got the GOAT at the quarterback, and he's got ballers on the wide out, and he's got tight end who is going to be fun and goofy and want to play football, not have to perform because they know in Bruce Arians' systems it's going to be fun. And Bruce Arians is going to be chill, laid back, not going to be like Coughlin, probably not going to be like Marone. It's going to be chill. He's going to be able to just do his thing.
Yeah.
And plus, Chris, he gets to keep the in-state no tax going from Jacksonville to Tampa.
I love BJ. He's still trying to.
Man, put him on mute.
He's still trying to.
BJ, you're on mute.
He's still trying to hit. So this is what BJ says on the. He's like, here's what he says. He will share carries with Jones. He's talking about Ronald Jones.
Yeah.
And they already have pass catchers. Tampa Bay is also a mess. No one wants that.
You know what I'm hearing right now?
BJ, no one wants that, but you want to trade for Leonard Fournette?
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing I want him. I'll overpay for him. Let me have him. No.
So BJ, give me a running back, a starting running back, like a tier 2 or 3, and then a top wide receiver.
Tier what? Tier 2?
Tier 2 wide receiver.
Yeah. Okay.
Give me one of those guys.
Yeah. The funny thing is, in my league with BJ, he didn't have anybody I want.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. BJ's a wheeler dealer. That's the one thing. But that's the one thing I will say about BJ and playing with BJ in a fantasy football league. If you want to make a trade, that's the guy you want to go to.
Yeah.
Because he will make a trade with you. You know, it might not be the trade. It might not be a great trade, but he will make a trade for you. We'll trade with you. So I will give him that much because there's a lot of people when you get into some leagues, Paul, I mean, I don't know about the leagues that you're in.
Yeah.
Some leagues, nobody wants to make a trade at all.
Well, see,
everybody thinks you're trying to fleece them. Everybody's trying to think you're trying to pull the wool over their eyes, and it's just like, dude, I'm just trying to make my team better. And I'm trying to help you out too. When I make a trade, I always look at what their needs are.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Like, can I help you out? Can you help me out? This and that. But there's some, I just, I don't like the leagues where there's no trading at all.
In my big league, I'm the guy who tries to make the moves because I usually get really hurt with during probably about midway through the season, and I need somebody to really help me out to fill a need, and I have an adequate backup to kind of fulfill the let's say it was, I think a couple of years ago, I had a tight end and a receiver package that I sent for a running back I really needed. But I had a tight end on the bench who was adequate and could give me probably tier 3 tight end points.
Right.
And so I was able to limp my way into the playoffs in the second round. So I was able to make a little bit of a run, and I knew it wouldn't last because of the opponent I was going to face, but I was still able to make moves. And then my biggest acquisition was I traded away Deshaun Watson his rookie year the week before. I traded him. I traded him Monday. He got the way the trade cleared Wednesday. He tore his ACL Thursday in practice. That year he tore his ACL.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So that was and my buddy who I traded was like, I will never trade with you again because of that.
Yeah, I mean that's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
You never know. I mean, it's football. You never know.
I felt great about it.
It's the same thing with it's the same thing in any fantasy league. The one fantasy league I haven't got into is NBA. I mean, I'm a big Major League Baseball. I'm a big baseball fantasy. I'm in that right now. It's kind of weird because of the shortened season and everything. But I love trading. And so if you can get in a league where there's some movement going on, then it's a lot more fun that way as long as you don't trade with guys like BJ that try to fleece you.
Yep.
Shout out BJ, dude. I love you, man. I'm just talking trash. Just talking trash. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 105, Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto on his way. The big breaking news, Leonard Fournette going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Shout out to Reed Coleman and Texas Point Outdoors for sharing that with us. That just happened. That was just happening now, I guess about 30 minutes ago. So I mean, if Leonard Fournette is out there, if you got Leonard Fournette, or if you know some chump that's got him on your roster or on his roster, and you might be able to.
Maybe
you might be able to put a trade out there, and
you can see how BJ operates, trying to make this move like while we're prepping for the show.
All right, we got some, of course, high school football still happening, this Friday, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Zach Lucero on his way. I kind of want Zach here
when we do that. It's a little later than usual, so I hope everything's all right.
Yeah. So, VJ. I love you, VJ.
I'm done listening to
I love you, VJ.
I'm done with that one.
Fournette was just okay before. Now he is below average. Y'all had your chance. I would have hooked you up.
Broken promises.
He would have helped me out.
I don't need your help, BJ.
He would have helped me out. All right, the NBA playoffs is still rolling along. Shout out to Wes. He's on the watch party here. He's talking about the top seeds.
Yeah.
In the East.
Yeah, man.
Struggling. I was up at the restaurant watching this. Come on now. Let's see. Heat still up 113-111, 7 seconds left in this game. The Heat were up most of the first half, double digits, a lot of it. The one thing that I noticed about the Heat and the Bucks in this game, especially in the first half, was just the energy that the Heat have on the defensive side of the ball versus the Bucks on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, the Heat was just like everybody's moving. They're constantly helping each other. They were, just especially when it came to Giannis, like he still gets to the bucket. There's points in the game where you can't do anything about him getting to the bucket. Okay, I mean, he's a freak. But the way they play defense against the Bucks, amazing. I was just noticing that at the first half is like everybody's communicating. They're moving their feet. They're getting all over the ball. And that's basically, how the Heat have been able to go, 1-0. And then we'll see what happens here. There's still 7 seconds left. They're up one. Well, it says 19 seconds now. I don't know. Come on, CBS Sports, get your deal together. But, I mean, if the Heat can go 2-0, I mean, it's time to is it time to panic yet for the Milwaukee Bucks?
The reason I say that is because they're in that bubble still, and I saw Houston go up 2-0, and I was like, oh, this is about to be a sweep. And then tonight right here we're in Game 7. I think that's probably tipped off already because it's already 8:29. But you can't. How are you gonna put Giannis out? I mean, you just can't. Yeah. So I just think right now Miami's trying to steal some games, and I think they did. They're probably about to steal 2 of them. But I'm not counting out the Bucks at all.
No. I mean, I wouldn't either. I mean, you got the MVP. I mean, you've got there's
no traveling.
There's nothing going on. Yeah.
So it's like anybody can steal any game. Mm-hmm. And right now it looks like Miami stole 2 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I guess you could say it's a home game for Miami since they're in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, they're closer to home. They're probably able to see maybe family a little bit more, or probably be closer to talk to them because they're on the same time coast on the East Coast, same time preference.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm still waiting for the final on this one. But you know how the last 10 seconds of an NBA game.
It's like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Depending on how many timeouts that they have. So, it looks like still 114-111. What's up, Zach Lucero? Joining the party, dog. What's up? Going on, brother?
I have my work fantasy draft on the computer. It takes way too long.
You don't got no like, I mean, what was the 60 seconds, 90 seconds per pick?
Yeah, they do, but nobody enforces it or anything.
They pause the draft?
We did it over like a WebEx meeting.
Like a Zoom?
Yeah.
Wow.
What platform were y'all using?
Yahoo, but we weren't on the Yahoo doing it. We were just saying our picks. I don't know, that was dumb.
That's dumb, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Snoop? Did you bring Snoop pizza?
Yeah.
I was wondering.
I had to step over it.
I was wondering. Oh, okay. Shout out Snoop Daniel. He's in the green room now. He's got some pizza now. I was wondering. I saw you walk in, and I was like, saw you knocking on Snoop's door. I was like, Zach, leave him alone. I think he's sleeping.
Yeah, that's right there.
All right, what's up? All right, cool. Hey, leave me a slice, Snoop. Okay. All right, word up.
Okay.
So, all right. So, did you have a good team or what? We were talking some fantasy football earlier. Leonard Fournette just signed with the Bucks.
Yeah, I drafted him.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got Dalvin Cook, Le'Veon Bell,
Okay.
David Johnson,
Okay.
and then Leonard Fournette. I got to take him pretty late.
Good.
I got Drew Lock and Big Ben.
Okay.
Which one are you going to start?
Probably Big Ben.
Yeah. He's supposed to be. He's telling everybody
People are talking.
he's
him
telling everybody that
up.
he's going to have like the biggest the comeback season.
player of the year.
Well, I think Drew Lock is good.
I like Drew Lock a lot.
Yeah,
So
me too.
I think that's pretty. I think I'm safe either way.
Okay.
Got the Rams defense.
Okay.
Got Henry Ruggs.
Okay.
I got Mike Evans. He was like my second round pick.
Nice
yeah.
pick.
Got. He doesn't like enter it on the thing, so I can't like look. I'm just having to go off of memory.
Mm-hmm.
I got the tight end from Atlanta and Rob Gronkowski.
Hooper?
No, he was with Cleveland now.
He's with Cleveland. You're right.
Hayden. No, not Hayden. Is it Hayden Hurst?
Oh, I think it. Maybe. Yeah.
I think it might be
is.
Hayden
yeah,
Hurst.
Yeah.
I want to look.
And then I got Gronk. I can't remember the rest of my receivers.
You got Gronk too.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, folks.
So how is y'all's structure? Is it quarterback, 2 running back, 2 receiver?
Yeah, 2 receiver.
What about? Ooh, man. I might flex Gronk. I mean, I know you got Evans too, but you might want to flex.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the rest of my receivers, but
You hadn't entered him yet.
yeah.
See, that's why you got to do it on the platform.
Yeah.
That's why you got to do it on the platform. I mean, I feel it though. All right. So shout out to Zach's work league. Y'all doing it for money?
No, I can't do that. I can't do that for money.
Not for Texas.
Yeah, my
Oh, for real?
the what's it
Can't
called?
do
The
it?
person that
Bro,
runs
I mean,
the
I
whole.
don't.
That's bad juju.
I work.
What's the person above
work
the
in
whole
a-
section above the manager?
You talking about the comptroller?
No, like the director. My director is in the
you're-
league, so I can't.
What?
Keep going. Finish your thought.
So
No, yeah,
your
the
director's in the
director's
league?
in the league, so we
Yeah,
definitely
bro,
can't be
ain't
doing
gonna
that.
have ain't nothing like that gonna go down.
Hey, I'm a director.
Yeah, but you're like a director.
114, 114.
OT
OT.
Did you watch into that Jazz game?
I just saw the aftermath.
I only saw. So I watched the first 3 quarters and then I fell asleep.
Snoop, did you? That Jazz, the end of it? Oh man,
What
that's
happened?
crazy.
I missed it.
So
I watched, like,
ended
most of it, then I fell
It
asleep.
ended at 78-80. So really pretty low scoring.
Yeah.
What's his name? Joker hits like a big time like turnaround like hook in the post on Rudy Gobert to put him up 80-78. And like 20 seconds left, they come down. Donovan Mitchell loses the ball, turns it over.
no.
They get the stop on defense though. And Donovan Mitchell like falls down and gets back up, and it's like wide open by the basket because he didn't get to go down for defense, and then they didn't see him to outlet it. And I think Royce O'Neal like shoots a jumper and misses as a buzzer goes off.
And I mean the Nuggets, they pretty much
I think the Nuggets have a better chance of beating the Clippers than the.
and that's
than
what
the Jazz
that's what
would've.
everybody's saying. Everybody's saying that. I mean I get it. I mean there's a whole depth thing.
yeah.
So everybody's saying, okay, the Nuggets have a better chance, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, I get it. But I kind of like the Utah Jazz.
I like
Donovan Mitchell.
And he
I like
needs
Joe,
that, man.
I like
'cause
Joe
that's-
Ingles. I don't know. Joe Ingles is he's an ally, So
Oh my god. Snoop.
we were talking. We were talking about that last night.
I
Sorry.
think Mitchell could turn out kind of like how Clyde Drexler did, like in the late 80s, early 90s, where he's going to be like the best team for the Trailblazers, and then he's going to like go to a team.
Well, yeah, but he's talking about Clyde Drexler. Then go to a team to
go
win
like
a championship.
The Rockets. Yeah, go to a team like the Rockets. He'll go probably maybe even find his way with Kawhi when LeBron retires, and then they could probably like ball out for a couple of years together.
So he's just got to win. He's just kind of.
He everybody likes him. Like he's just like a very likable player.
Yeah.
Well, him and I feel like Devin Booker is kind of the same way. Okay. Devin Booker hasn't had the wins as like Donovan Mitchell has, but it's like as much as I hate to say it, they just got to be on a different team, man.
Why?
Because they're not on a team where they can win.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
Is it just because that's
And like those are the only like
because this is Utah Jazz, or
but
what?
those are the only like top tier guys that aren't really on winning teams.
Sounds like they need to go spend a summer together, vacationing, and find out how they can get on the same team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play the same position though. So.
Okay, hold on. Wes is telling us maybe there's no overtime. Conley took last shot. Butler shooting free throws with no time on the clock.
What?
Did you see that?
So I'm telling Wes, let us know what happened.
Yeah, tell them the.
What's the Giannis kind of got in trouble on social media?
For what?
That interview he had.
I didn't hear about
I didn't
that.
see
So
that.
someone asked him in an interview. They were like, "Did you ask to switch on to Jimmy Butler at the end of game 1?"
Okay.
At like saying like you're the star. Like, wouldn't you want to be guarding the guy that's hot?
Oh, they're calling him out.
And he was like, and he like didn't understand. He was like, "No, why would I ask to do that?"
Oh.
Yeah. So they're like, I guarantee you, LeBron would want to switch on the best person. Like, MJ would have switched on the best person.
He
like,
just got cultured,
yeah.
bro.
Wow.
So what happened, Chris?
Jimmy Butler shooting free throws with no time on the clock. Hits both of them. 116-114. Heat final. Dude, I know, man.
That's
See,
a
what
bad
we
way
need.
that's a bad way to lose.
We need like a little screen over here.
We need a new studio. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we need a new studio.
We need a.
Yeah. Because we need like we need a screen. Because remember back in the day when we were doing fan stand, we had
We just had one.
Yeah, but still, I mean, we could throw
Yeah.
something on there and we could
Yeah.
look at,
We could
So-
watch the countdown.
So I wonder if Giannis guarded Jimmy Butler much this game more than he did in the first one.
I mean, I saw on the first half, I saw Butler on Giannis. I don't know if
Well,
I saw.
he's like that though. Like
Yeah.
he went to JUCO. He's like that. He's
Yeah.
got that dog in him. You know.
JUCO.
He went to JUCO.
Yeah, son.
Yeah, he's kind of a goon.
Yeah.
Kind of a
No,
goon.
he ain't.
He's from Texas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Heat up 2-0 on the Bucks. And Paul, you're still sticking with
Oh.
the fact that you don't think that Bucks are. It's not time to panic for the Bucks yet.
3-0, yes, it's panic mode, but 2 games now, especially with I mean everybody's saying that the Bucks are the better team in the long run. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, my fantasy team is kind of good. I got the rest of my
Okay.
receivers: Mike Evans, AJ Green, Will Fuller, Julian Edelman, Henry Ruggs.
I'm a big believer in AJ Green. I got my
But he-
Burrow believer.
But he still hasn't practiced yet.
He's gonna play though.
The season's in like 2 weeks. That's fine,
He still hasn't practiced though.
bro.
Does that not
No.
concern you at all?
He's not a starter for me.
Okay. All right. So Wes says Butler got fouled on a jump shot with no time left on the clock. Knocked down both free throws. Wow. Thanks, Wes. Appreciate the updates.
Thanks, Wes.
Yo, big shout out to our followers, bro.
I know,
helping
right?
us up
Yeah,
live.
no, right. Yeah,
Thank
giving us
y'all.
up. Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. I know Reed giving us the breaking
Yeah.
news. Wes giving us the news on the Heat and the Bucks. Shout out to all our followers. Shout out to BJ. BJ coming with the NBA. Mitchell and Booker are not in the same solar system. Booker is not even a top 15 player in the NBA. BJ watches NBA?
BJ didn't even show up when he said he was gonna show up that one day. So.
BJ's on mute in my mind.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, yeah, I got to give him credit. I didn't know he even followed NBA. So,
How do we know he just didn't pull an article and read that?
I mean, he probably did. He's on Fantasy Pros all the time. So, all right. And of course, Game 7 going on tonight on ESPN as well. Thunder and Rockets. Rockets up 23-19 in the first quarter.
Yeah. Bro, I'm scared, bro.
okay.
I'm so scared.
Okay.
So fucking scared.
I saw this thing earlier. I saw this meme. I forgot where I saw it. Somebody posted something on Twitter and then it was screenshotted and then posted on Facebook. So I can't, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
So there was this thing about, and I can't remember which player it was. There was a player on the Rockets. God, I wish I could remember his name. Dang it, it's losing me. But
James Harden.
No. Apparently, one of the players on the Rockets said something about Hong Kong, and so now the Rockets are apparently just they're not supposed to be showed in China.
I
That was a long time ago.
I thought
Was that a long time
because of
ago?
their GM.
The GM, yeah.
The GM said something.
That was a long time ago?
pro-Trump,
Okay,
and
okay.
and
Then this
China
is
got
yeah.
so super like sour, and then they
I thought this
pulled
was.
him.
I thought this was. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, that's what that was the GM. It wasn't a player.
Okay. Because then they were saying Game 7, and then like Scott Foster was the referee tonight, and they were like, there was this whole, conspiracy theory that the Thunder were gonna win via the referees so that the Lakers could be shown in China.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, I was like,
bro.
I was like, dude. I was like, that's
I'm one for those kind of stories, but I'm not going that far.
That's a long way to go. Because
that's Alice in Wonderland, bro.
Yeah, because let's be honest. I mean, like, if the NBA really had a conspiracy theory, I mean, wouldn't they rather have Houston, who's the number 4 market in the nation, against LA, who's the number 2 market in the nation? I mean,
arguably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would much rather have that than Oklahoma City and LA, right? Am I right here? I'm right. So the Rockets up 23-20. It's Game 7. There's 3:08 left in the first quarter. This game's on ESPN. I'm expecting a good one. I don't think either team's going to run away with this one. What do you think, Paul?
Did you see that photo at the end of Game 6 between Harden and Chris Paul? It was like, if you're a Rockets fan, you kind of know the history about how Chris Paul gets hurt in Game 6 against the Warriors, and how they don't quite get over the hump against the Warriors in the NBA Western Finals. And the look on James Harden's face is like a look of betrayal from Chris Paul. Like, how can you not come through in the clutch for me on my team, but you go to the Thunder and now you want to ball out?
Yeah.
That's the kind of look, and Chris Paul's giving the look like, I don't give a damn. I'm going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got going on over there, Zach?
I was Paul's on a roll.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. Of course, I mean, as a unit here, because, I've got no skin in the game, I think we're pulling for the Rockets, right? I mean, because, that's Paul's team.
I don't really like Chris Paul that much.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I mean, he's like the NBA player rep, right?
Yeah, but I'm not in the NBA.
The union guy?
I mean, not many people like the union guy, right?
Well, yeah, that's a fair statement now.
I mean, right?
Fair statement.
I mean, like,
Kiss
I
ass,
do.
Is that what you're saying?
I do.
Kiss ass, is that what you're saying?
Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
Pucker up.
I mean, but I mean, like, it's just like, that's just the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if we were back in the 70s and it was still,
So did you just call Chris Paul a yes man?
I mean, maybe.
I think
kinda.
you did. I think
Maybe
you called him a
kinda.
yes man.
Maybe kind of.
So, but what's the real reason you don't like him?
I don't know. I just
Is it the commercials?
Well, there was that when he was in Wake Forest or wherever. Where was he at? Wake Forest.
I think it was Wake Forest.
And he like punched that dude in the nuts.
Really?
Yeah. Then he like made the ref give the other team a technical one time because the dude didn't have his shirt tucked in.
NBA player union rep, bro. Dang.
Wake Forest University.
Yeah.
Chris, so Zach is he's fighting the man. That's what it sounds like to me.
I'm not a big Chris Paul guy.
I mean,
I'm not a big. I don't know if I'm a big fan of the Rockets either, but I just don't like Chris Paul.
I don't know.
Is it the spur in you?
No. I just think the Rockets are just so hard to watch sometimes.
Is it
but
the
you know
spur
what?
for you?
For me, yeah. For me, it is.
But that's what it
for
is.
Me, it
that's
is.
what it's
yeah.
like for me for the Mavs. Sorry, Wes and John. Sorry, Kalunga. That's what it is. Like I'm like for me, it's the Rockets, the Spurs, and the Mavs.
Yeah.
Like if my top 2 are out, I'm a Texas guy first.
Right.
But I don't like the Mavs because of the Rockets.
How are y'all in terms of like football? Are you like if Texas loses, do you root for the Big 12?
No.
No, I root for another Texas team.
Okay. So like you would root for A&M before you would root for somebody else in the Big 12?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Not Chris, but I would.
I don't.
So like if the Cowboys
so he would root for TCU before A&M is what he's saying.
I wouldn't. I mean, if Texas is
Baylor?
out, I mean, I wouldn't root for.
You got the green on.
I mean, I guess maybe I don't know, dude. I guess if A&M was,
And then do you root for the team that knocks out your team?
No.
No.
It's not like, see, it's totally different. It's like Big 12 is it's not like SEC. It's like we're not like we're not Big 12. That's not a thing. It's not a thing around here.
I think other than probably OU. I feel like I would root for any other team in the Big 12 if they had a good season.
West Virginia?
Yeah. First of all, West Virginia is not going to have a good season for a very long time.
That's true.
I'm just saying,
But like Oklahoma State, I would love to see them. Do well.
I mean, I'm a very diehard closet Oklahoma fan. I just like the swag. I like the
OU.
OU. Yeah.
Okay,
I like what they bring to the table.
So it comes down to Texas OU in the Big 12 championship game.
I could never root for OU.
OU beats them and then beats them like winner of Texas OU makes the playoff. OU wins. Do you go for OU?
Yeah, I would as a fan I would root for OU, but in my mind I would be like, who are they playing? You know what I'm saying? Like if I have to make a judgment call, I'm gonna say this team is better than Oklahoma, but I'm gonna be like, hey, I hope Oklahoma wins.
Yeah, I don't know if other than OU, I don't think I would root against, if it came down to it, root against any other Big 12 team.
But this year Texas is beating Oklahoma.
I don't know. I just can't. I mean, I can't root. I can't like get myself to root for another team.
So after Texas losing, you're just not rooting for anybody?
No, I just want to see a good game. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, so maybe let's say the Aggies made it to for some miracle.
I would root for OU before I'd root for A&M.
I'd be the opposite.
Yeah,
I would be the opposite. I would root for A&M before I root for OU for sure.
Is that because of what happened in 2006 when the state like A&M said for one day we're going to be Longhorn fans?
No, possibly. No, well, I mean, that was cool.
That happened. I remember.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. There was I remember like seeing like little memes or shirts that people had.
They taped the horns.
The horns back on.
Right.
Blah blah blah. Like for one day. We're Longhorn fans or whatever. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
But I just think. I mean, I guess maybe just because like and I've got the family allegiance. Got the De Leon family with my cousins Jeremy and Joseph.
De Leon's in my family too.
Yeah, I mean, and so they they went to A&M. They were in the core. So I got family allegiance. With the Aggies. So I think maybe that's why. I mean, I don't really know or have allegiance with OU in any way. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason for me.
Samaj P.
Why I would go. With.
I just think think Oklahoma are just better recruiters. They just get better talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I like them.
This is like off topic of what we're talking about, but
everything's off topic.
Looking back at it, we really should have put that money on Central Arkansas, Chris.
So did y'all talk about that?
We did not. No, because it was Saturday night.
We talked about the game. Yeah.
We talked about the game. Yeah.
During the show,
and then we talked about wanting to put money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that part. But I was right before I left. Yeah, so y'all didn't put money on it?
No, we should have.
Figure it out.
We were going to get you to do it.
We should have.
Should ask.
Well, Snoop had told us where to go. He said he banned himself from all the.
I may or may not have an account,
and we were going to put like $50. Like. I was going to put $50.
And that game was crazy too because
we would have covered.
Yeah. Because I think at the end they went for 2, right?
I'm so glad y'all brought this up because this is a great transition.
Then they went for 2 at the end because they wanted to be up by 7.
Right.
And so like
cover the 5 points.
So there was 5 points. They were up by 5 after the touchdown, and then they were like, "Oh, well, we need to be up by 7. So we go for 2." And then they covered.
The coach had money on that game.
Are you serious?
He had to. They're going for 2, or he had 5. Or he had 6. He probably had 6. And he's like,
well, I think you just don't want to. You don't want to be on the opposite end of a game-winning play, the first game back of college football in the COVID, because it's going to be shown forever.
Right. Okay. And for our listeners and our watchers that don't know, the first college football of the season was Central Arkansas and Austin Peay last week. Central Arkansas, the Bears were a 5.5-point favorite. It got down to the very last minute of the game. Austin Peay was up. Central Arkansas went down, scored a last-minute touchdown. They were up by 5 points at that point. We're talking about a 5.5-point, spread that Central Arkansas was favored by. Either way, they were gonna cover it, right?
Yeah.
Either way, they were gonna cover it. But why go for 2?
Because the coach had 6.
6.
It's that simple. Because the coach had 6.
I wonder how much money we would have won.
I mean, I don't remember what the odds were, but we would have won. Yeah.
If it was -5, or was it 5 or 5.5?
It was 5.5.
It was probably -110.
5.5. So yeah, and it's just like that's what I'm saying.
$45.
That's what I'm saying, and I like the way you said that because you were like, yeah, the coach had
6.
The coach had 6.
He was like, we're gonna whoop their ass. Who's Austin Peay? And then there you go. Dun dun.
Dun, dun. Yeah. Because, I mean, even with just the extra point, they would have covered.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that much time left on the clock. No. So, you squib kick it down. You do a safe coverage. Yeah. Like tell everybody to stay in their lanes. Yeah, you stay in their lanes. And you just don't, you have like maybe 2 or 3 guys to stay back as safeties. Make the tackle and the game's over. So, yeah.
So, what was that game like to y'all? Because I was driving over here.
I didn't watch it.
I was on
watch it?
Ben White. I didn't watch it either. I was doing much more fun things. Mm-hmm. I was on Ben White, and I was thinking about this, and I was like, you know what that game was like on Saturday, and then the game tomorrow, because the game tomorrow is Central Arkansas
and UAB.
And UAB. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it's like Christmas for me. It's like you're going to get a present at Christmas, but this is that present that you get from your grandmother that you're grateful you got a gift from your grandmother. Mm-hmm. But when you open it, it's closed. That's what these football games are like.
There's
for
socks.
Me. It's chones.
8 pair.
I'm like,
can you believe it?
I'm grateful for the football, but this isn't what I wanted to open.
But it was a good game, though.
Not granted, but when you looked at that matchup, you're like, is this going to be a great game? Probably not. I'm going to go somewhere else and have some cocktails.
Yeah.
Throw some washers.
I mean, I was working at the restaurant, so I didn't get to really watch the whole thing, but I was caught, playing there. But I did catch the end, and it was good.
Made me make $50, $70, $80 side betting at washers.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I don't know. So Central Arkansas, UAB playing tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on ESPN 3, the Ocho.
Central Arkansas is also North Dakota State's one game of the year.
For real?
Yeah, North Dakota State's playing one game in October. And they're playing Central Arkansas.
Yeah. I like Zach coming with the
did you see that on
someone
tweet?
with the nugget there.
Did you see that on tweet?
Was that on Twitter?
No.
It was on Snapchat?
It was on a tweet.
Somebody
TikTok?
somebody was talking about the quarterback for North Dakota State.
It was TikTok?
Yeah. He'll probably be the 3rd best quarterback coming out, probably. Yeah. Prospect.
Also tomorrow night, South Alabama and Southern Miss. That's going to be on CBS Sports Network. So there's 2 games tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Saturday, September 5th, we got Eastern Kentucky and Marshall on ESPN. That's going to be a noon game. Middle Tennessee and Army on CBS Sports Network at 12:30. And SMU versus Texas State.
Yeah, baby.
On ESPN.
On the prime 3:30 time slot.
Prime time.
Dude.
Texas State is a 21.5-point underdog.
I do not care. I don't care.
Are you excited?
Bro, I'm gonna have fun.
Are you going to go to the game?
No, not necessarily. Not in Dallas.
Is
it in Dallas? I thought it was in Dallas.
I don't know. Texas State's okay, yeah. Well, they're the bottom team. Usually the bottom teams.
Well, then maybe it is in San Marcos.
It's Bobcat Stadium.
Yeah, then we gave up our season tickets for the year.
It's Jim Weicker Field, Bobcat Stadium, yeah, SMU and Texas State.
I will not be there, but I will be watching at home.
So what do y'all think about Oklahoma's first game against Missouri State?
Are they playing?
It's going to be September 12th, but it's pay-per-view.
How much you think that check is for? How much you think that check is for?
Pay-per-view.
It's pay-per-view?
Yeah. And they're going to make so much money off of it. Playing Missouri State.
How much you think Missouri State?
And we've talked about this.
How much?
We've talked about this, Paul, in terms of like rules and stuff that people are doing for COVID. Yeah. Is like a lot of times, a lot of these like changes that people are suggesting, it's because they're wanting to do it in the long term.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, fair enough.
That would be terrible.
Pay-per-view games?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we kind of have that, right? Well, we did for a little bit, right, with the Longhorn Network.
Yeah,
it's like you kind of.
There were a few years.
There was a few years where you could not get like they're not. It wasn't like widely available.
Like Rice wasn't going to be on,
right?
When they played Rice,
yeah. So we kind of got a taste of that a little bit.
Now,
but you think it's going to be like UFC style?
Or
I hope not. I hope not. That would make more sense. But I mean,
hey,
I mean, it, like thinking like in terms of the school and the network, like it would make them so much money. But like, it would be terrible as like the casual fan, like to just have to decide, like waking up on Saturday morning being like, okay, what games am I going to buy?
Well,
I want to watch Florida LSU. I got to buy that one. I want to watch the Texas game. Got to buy that.
But I really don't think a Florida LSU game. I think we're a long way away from like a big game like that being pay-per-view. Don't you think?
Yeah, I would say yes.
I mean, like,
but I mean, like, it's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah,
and if you're gonna make any games pay per view, if you're gonna make any games pay per view, it's a good point. Wilder Fury was pay per view.
It's a good point.
And that was the biggest boxing match in a long time.
I think that's a little bit. That's kind of. I think that's
a good point.
I think that's par for the course for boxing and MMA. But
but like, how did it get there? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
sure. I think because of the demand for tickets and
because then like Chris's argument would be like, why aren't all the like smaller fights on pay per view and the bigger fights on mainstream?
Let's just look at it from a 30,000 foot bird's eye view. I mean, it's the whole thing is the TV deals, the sponsors, the revenue from the ads and all that other stuff. You don't really get that with boxing.
Stakeholders.
Right. You don't really get that. You don't get that stuff with boxing. With college football, NFL, those big programs, you get that. So there's a lot of money involved, and you don't really need the pay-per-view money to, make that cash.
Billions.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I can see why Oklahoma and Missouri State are pay-per-view, because they're not, true. Because like nobody's really going to want to like really watch it. And it's hard to sell. If you're Oklahoma, like, hey, put this game on TV, and everybody's gonna be like,
I think at the same time,
no, I don't think so.
I think at the same time, Oklahoma doesn't have to share any of that TV money because it is pay-per-view. So what that means is they're probably gonna make more because they don't have to share with the Big 12, and they may be able to cut maybe a little bit bigger check to Missouri State. Yeah. And hey, that's gonna fund Missouri State's whole year.
Yeah.
Fox Sports Oklahoma is the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Who you're getting it through.
Regional.
Yeah. Other games on Saturday, North Texas versus, I don't even know who this is. It just says HBU. Who is that?
Houston Baptist.
Houston Baptist.
Oh my gosh.
They have a football team?
Yes.
Yeah, bro. We have some great young people who are going to Houston
I didn't know that. I thought they just did baseball. My bad. Arkansas State and Memphis at 7:00 on ESPN. Okay. And another Texas matchup on ESPN3 Saturday night, 8:00. Stephen F. Austin, the Lumberjacks.
Both of those Texas
versus UTEP, the Miners.
Oh, that might be a good competitive
SFA
game.
versus UTEP. So that's good. And then there's a Monday night game. And we'll talk a little bit more of this on Saturday morning. Talk more college football. BYU and Navy on Monday night on ESPN at 7:00.
Taysom Hill still play for BYU?
Was that?
He might. He might.
He's still going to run all over Texas. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 105, Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto also coming up. Still Friday night. We got some 4A action going on.
So, Chris, before you get into that.
Sure.
I don't know if anybody heard, but if y'all need barbecue, like, go get your orders from Kreitz Market now. Get it for the weekend so you don't have to go to Lockhart, stand in line, 100-degree heat with water bottles, COVID-19, mask up, and 6 feet of distance. Call and get your orders online. Do it now.
Call ahead and tell Kalunga to spray you with a water gun when you're waiting in line.
Yeah.
Bro, John said he went to go work in the pit area to give one of the guys a breaks.
Yeah.
He was like, it was 125 degrees in there.
It's like 75 degrees outside right now.
125 degrees in that pit room.
It feels good right now. I mean, shout out the weather. Shout out the weatherman. Shout out to who's our favorite weather guy? Snoop. Homeboy hangs out at the corner bar. Scott Fisher. Scott Fisher. Yeah. Shout out Scott Fisher. Yeah. He hangs out at the corner bar.
That's cool.
Shout out Fox 7.
Shout out.
They give Snoop some. They give Snoop love. You gonna be on TV anytime soon, Snoop? When the season starts, catch Snoop Daniel on Fox 7 Austin in the mornings. He'll be on there with the whole crew. It's always fun to see Snoop on there. Before we get into this, I do want to mention this, Paul. You put this on the messenger via Matt Stepp on Twitter. Dallas ISD varsity only football programs can begin football practice on Tuesday, September 8th.
What does that mean, varsity only football programs?
So there was an issue going on where the superintendent of Dallas ISD was not going to allow any fall sports to commence due to COVID. Mm-hmm. And a lot of parents got upset. There was a lot of mobilizations by student athletes. They came together, they rallied, they organized, and they were able to persuade the superintendent, who I'm not going to name, and so to allow them to play varsity football. So that means,
why aren't you gonna name them?
because it's not anybody's business. If you want to research Dallas ISD superintendent, please feel free.
I know the deputy CFO there.
Yes,
He's my old boss. Shout out Scott Drillette.
I'll say the superintendent Hinojosa was not going to allow him to play. He will now, due to the voice of.
But why does it say varsity only? So
because
like,
JV's probably
JV
not going to
play?
play. Freshman's not going to play. But this also lets those young people go compete.
Dang, so now it's like you got to make varsity if you want to play at all.
And I got a feeling that a lot of those young people, especially if you're a baller on freshman, you're probably going to make the varsity.
Yeah.
And then also,
those are pretty big programs, though. I mean, you got to be pretty.
Yeah,
you got to be a pretty big baller if you're in
ISD
Dallas.
is like South Oak Cliff, Skyline.
Yeah.
Guys, we had freshmen play last year, and here in the Austin area, it's not unheard of.
I guess
So
you
the
could
Big
guess.
12 came out and said that the guidelines for playing football is, so they set the roster at 53, which includes a breakdown by position, and you have to be able to fill that 53 in order to be able to play. So like if you're out too many quarterbacks for COVID, you can't play. And they said the first choice will be to reschedule games in the bye weeks. So over under 1 game rescheduled in Big 12.
In the Big 12,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say over.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Wow.
over too. Yeah. Yeah.
So 2?
At
These
least
2 games?
I
will
think
be
at
rescheduled?
least 2.
At least.
Hmm.
I mean, I think, and then the only reason is because like we're getting into okay, we're in September, right? I mean, we're getting into flu season. We're gonna get into the point where everybody's gonna be inside. Everybody's gonna be congregated, kind of together. Hopefully you can still socially distance inside, but I mean, it's just one of those things that it's flu season.
The other thing too, I think
people are more consistently together.
Right.
You've seen people be out with COVID-like symptoms, like awaiting a test, but you're still out for COVID-like symptoms. If you have like a regular, like fall, wintertime illness, you'll be out for COVID-like symptoms.
That's
Yes.
true. That's true. It's true.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I think the biggest risk is not the athletes per se, because they can be in controlled environments. Just when those students have to go to class, if they go to class, when they're around other students, because you can't mitigate where those other students go. So if they go to class, it's a big issue.
And I also think, I mean, this is a different, kind of point of view, but I think a lot of the younger kids, like especially the kids that are on campus, there's a lot of them that there's that part of the of the students that aren't taking it seriously, but there is a large part that are taking it seriously. So I think there's a mixture of that. So
I think at the high school level, that's probably because I think you're closer, you have more communal feelings. But when you go to the college level, I mean, you feel like you're an adult. You got all this power all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Nobody's watching over. You can do what you want. But yeah, because their peers want to support their football players or the volleyball players, they're probably going to wear a mask and conform so that they can mitigate that risk for their fellow classmate who wants to be a athlete.
And let's be real. I mean, the whole mask and social distancing thing has kind of it's kind of turned into a political statement. And when you think about it, that the college campuses, it's more of a left-leaning type of environment. Yeah. So, we won't get into all that, but
hey, look, if you
know what I'm saying?
It's like I said from the very beginning. If you want to go into a store because there's a product you want and they ask you to wear a mask, do it.
Yeah.
If not, don't go to the store.
Fair enough. All right, Friday night, we got Lampasas, number 3 ranked in 4A versus Stephenville. Shout out to the Yellow Jackets. It's going to be a pretty good game. What you think? Stephenville replacing D1 quarterback Cade Renfro. He went to Ole Miss. Shout out to Paul Rodriguez for giving me all of this information to read.
We can discuss. We don't have to all be reading. It's in there for everybody.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just, just want to give. I mean, this is great information. These are some names that our listeners need to know about. So this is wide receiver Trace Morrison. This is Lampasas, right?
This is Stephenville.
Stephenville. Running back Kason Phillips, linebacker Colton Akamazo. I think I said that right.
You did.
He'll be busy with Lampas's running back Jack Jerome and name to know Ryder Lambert.
Sophomore out of Stephenville.
You think he's any relation to Brady Lambert, Snoop? Ryder Lambert? Possibly, right? Lampas's had a shootout win. Lampas's will have a shootout. Dang.
These are my picks.
This is your picks?
These are my picks.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, these are my picks.
Lampas's with a shootout win, 61-45. Okay. All right. What do you think about that pick, Zach? I mean, you over there TikToking?
I agree with Paul.
TikTok.
All right. So Lampass is scoring 60-plus points there, Paul.
Yeah, they scored 55 last week against Brownwood. I think this week with Stephenville, a little bit more competition. But I think Ace Whitehead and his crew, shout out to John Long, the offensive lineman, who's going to be protecting him as well. Everybody knows the big names, Jack Jerome, Ace Whitehead, Mike Murray. Shout out to Owen Seaver on the other side of the ball. But John Long needs to get his dues on the offensive line. And all those guys have offers that I just named. So just leave that be in your mind. But Ace Whitehead turns up the notch because he knows he's going to have a huge matchup week 3 against the Wimberley Texans.
I like how Lampasas went from Brownwood to Stephenville. Because, that's like an old school rivalry, Stephenville and Brownwood.
Then Wimberley on deck.
Yeah. Lampasas, they're not trying to shy away from anybody, early in the season. I like that a lot.
Lampasas also climbed one spot up to go to number 3 this week. Just as a heads up.
All right, Wimberley Texans, they're taking on Cuero. Shout out to Wimberley, too.
Number 4.
Taking on the Gobblers. Number 4, Wimberley Texans. They defeated Canyon Lake last week. Me and Snoop and Zach watched the end of that game up at the restaurant last Friday night. Let's see. Paul's you got your little
Paul, do you know who's going to be
here.
the KBVO game this week?
I don't know, man. Oh. We'll probably find out tomorrow.
Oh man, we got to hand it. Who's the KBVO game? Snoop, do you know? Rockdale
versus Thrall.
Rockdale versus somebody.
No, Taylor.
Rockdale versus
Friday.
Oh, is it Friday?
There's no Thursday game.
No Thursday game? Okay. No Thursday game. Yeah, shout out to KBVO. You want to read off your little analysis here?
Well, I just put it out there for everybody. My biggest thing was I think Moses Ray is going to get back on the horse, man. I think if Wimberley can get him going early, Christian Marshall can just take off probably midway through the second quarter. I like Wimberley in this game. Cuero is going to be a little bit defeated. I think they had a really bad game last week against Lavernia. It was a little tighter than people thought, but I like Wimberley to win big, man. 56-20 in this matchup. Remember, this is Lampasas is 4A D1. Wimberley is 4A D2. So 3 and 4 has a little disparity.
Let's see. Yeah, BJ, hold on, man. He says he wants us to talk about Hayes, Lehman, and Johnson.
We're not talking about them right now because they're not playing.
They're not playing. And then of course this is the KBVO game. Taylor versus number 6 Rockdale. Let's see, and you got some notes here, Paul, for Taylor.
No, take over that.
Okay, man. This is your stuff. This is your
man,
stuff, man. This is you, bro.
I wanted you to take over this,
but
that's
you,
fine.
Bro.
I mean,
this is you.
For those who don't know,
this is you.
Bryson Bass is going to be a monster for the Taylor Ducks. Everybody's going to lean on him to get the ball moving down the field. I really want to see, if Jason Salcedo can get going early, I think him running the rock is going to be pivotal for them. Second and medium, second and short. Make sure you get the ball and converting so that you can keep Rockdale off the field because they're just a power. Mm-hmm. Also, Stakevion Johnson, dude had a baller big return last week for the Taylor Ducks. They came up short on the end of a W, but this week they kind of have to match up against a 3A opponent, although that 3A opponent is number 6 in the state in 3A Division II. But names to know for those who don't know for the Rockdale Tigers, TPD hashtag. Cameron Valdez, 4A star, has offers in all Power 5. He's leaning right now towards the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Maybe he can go play with Taj Brooks up there, former Maynard Mustang. Mm-hmm. The dude, the Glitch, that's his nickname, Kashawn Raven, 3-star athlete. Biggest offer he has right now is from Arkansas. He also has D1 offers from UTSA, UIW. He also has offers from Air Force. Southern Miss, and I want to say Arizona State, but I could be wrong on that one. But the dude's a baller. Quarterback Jace Robinson also has D2 offers. And then Ty Mayberry, the linebacker, leads the defense. He is going to be a pivotal point for them to stop Bryson Bass. But the dude's a baller. Bryson for the Taylor Ducks, the quarterback, big guy. But Ty Mayberry, he does have D3 offers on the way as well. So just a name to watch out for the Rockdale Tigers.
All right, and that's going to be the KBVO game of the week. And shout out to Roger Wallace. Roger Wallace still doing those games, Snoop? Yeah, shout out to Roger. I heard back in the day, Roger, like, you know, when we first started doing Fan Stand and we do the KBVO stuff, Roger Wallace would call in. That was just like, that was huge for us. Yeah, he would call in every Friday, you know, Fan Stand and, you know, just, you know, talk about the Thursday night game and shout out KBVO.
It's a name, bro.
Huh? Yeah, for like 3 years straight. Yeah, I mean, he would. Yeah. I mean, it's Roger Wallace. It's like Craig Way, you know. Yeah. I mean, like these are legends here. Yeah, and it was like, oh man, Roger Wallace. And they're like, hey, Roger, it's Chris Sanchez here. Let me ask you a question. He'd be like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Probably.
Who the hell are you? All right. Also Friday night, Lexington.
Let's back up real quick. Check that score. Let's get the score out there for them.
Which game? Oh yeah. Rockdale dominates.
Be that one.
Rockdale dominates the 4A Taylor Ducks. Paul's pick is 48-21. Rockdale over Taylor. Zach. So
win.
Oh no, Jace Robinson.
Well, Jace is out then.
Oh no. Shout out to Jace. Get well soon. Let's see. What do you think about that?
I agree with Snoop.
You agree with Snoop? You agree with Snoop? All right, Lexington versus Thrall. That's going to be is that the last game? Yeah, it'll be the last game there. And Paul, what you got to say about this game?
Lexington. I mean, Sheldon Springer, guy really needs to get things going. He's going to be leading the Lexington Eagles on to the field. But the man, the myth, the legend, Jared Kerr. If you don't know his name, you will soon. He got offers. He got 5 offers this week. Texas, Oklahoma, A&M, Notre Dame, and Florida just this past week. Scored 19 touchdowns as a true freshman. So he's just a sophomore. He's going to be a baller.
Only a 3-star right now, I think, right?
He's a 4-star for Recon Athlete, but 3-star on most platforms. I think a lot of those guys kind of wait and see. We kind of prognosticate based off potential. That's what Recon Athlete does. Yeah. Thrall, not really a lot going on. I think this is going to be a big dominating game. And look, Eagles, enjoy it. It's going to be a big win. But next week is going to be another huge movie matchup. The Lexington Eagles versus the Rockdale Tigers, moving up in weight class. We'll see if they can hang.
Yeah. Shout out. I mean, might have to go to that game. Check that one out if I don't have to work.
I mean, you got Wimberley, Lampasas that week. Lexington, Rockdale that week. Big games.
All right, if you ain't doing anything Friday night, there's some games going on. You know, make a little trip, a little night trip out of it.
They're 60 miles away. They're not that far.
Yeah. Take your mask, you know.
Well, if you are staying home and not watching the KBVO game, on ESPN I just looked, IMG plays on Friday at 7. Looking at IMG, just class of 2021, have a 5-star offensive lineman committed to Alabama, 5-star pro-style quarterback committed to Michigan, 5-star receiver committed to Alabama, 4-star outside linebacker, 4-star running back, 4-star center, 4-star corner, 3-star linebacker, 3-star receiver.
You know how they go there, right?
Well, yeah, it's like a charter.
Yeah, and they just recruit all over the nation.
Yeah, for sure.
They got Kellen Mond from San Antonio, Reagan.
Yeah. He did so good, or is doing so good at A&M.
I mean, IMG did their job, though.
So good.
Yeah, they did.
IMG did their job. He was like Elite 11 almost.
All right, let's see. Oklahoma City Thunder losing to the Rockets 56-52. 155 left in the second
Jazz
quarter.
Game was ended at 80 points.
Well, like I think at one point, the Jazz only had like 27 points almost. I think it was like
I'm sure at one
like
point
30 point. Well, I was saying 30 points like before halftime. Like that's all they had in 2 quarters.
Yeah, super low scoring.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you have those two centers like guarding the basket with Gobert and Jokic, those are some of the best defensive players in the league.
Yeah, patient zero, Rudy Gobert.
No doubt. Live on Recon Athlete, Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, licking microphones. All right, Recon Athlete, episode 105. Chris Sanchez, Paul Rodriguez, Zach Lucetto. Shout out to Snoop Daniel over in the green room. Shout out to everybody that was in our watch party tonight.
Pizza Snoop.
Shout out to Pizza Snoop. Snoop, you got some pizza left?
Yeah, it's all y'all.
Our word up. Shout out to Kreitz Market. Make sure you hit up Kreitz Market. Let's see. What is it? What's the website? Or
KreizMarket.com.
KreizMarket.com. Make sure you go and get that barbecue for the Labor Day weekend. Shout out to Texas Point Outdoors and Reed Coleman. Go to TexasPointOutdoors.com. You can also check them out on Instagram. Anything else before we wrap this thing up, Zach?
Nope. 2 more episodes by Saturday.
Oh, dude, I'm already on episode 5, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I'm on episode 5.
Dude, it's good, right?
It's really good. It's pretty
good, man.
It's pretty good. You got me hooked up. Normally, like it, I don't really I got a whole lot of time to watch TV, but I do like that one because I finished that other show I was watching on Apple TV, and so then I started watching Top Boy. So it's pretty good.
Any of the slang getting to you yet?
Yeah, Magwan. When they say what's up, and then the peas,
the peas,
and the food,
I like the peas, yeah,
and the food.
Yeah,
you get the food.
Paul, you gonna start watching that ever?
I don't know what it is.
Top Boy. It's
Top
on
Boy.
Netflix.
On Netflix?
Yeah.
What's the premise?
Okay, is it like The Wire?
No, not so much because they don't.
I've never seen The Wire. But I just heard that comparison.
The only reason why I say not so much is because on The Wire they have the storyline of like the police side, and they don't really have that in this one. But I mean, I can see where that comparison is made. But yeah.
So what's the premise you would give to Paul?
There's a old gangster that was in London that had to leave to go to Jamaica, and then he comes back and he's trying to
Jamaican?
Yeah,
I'm in.
Well, he's trying to come back to London to basically reclaim his old turf to sell dope or whatever on the streets of London. But then there's this new guy, this new young kid that's got in, and they start beefing or whatever.
I love Jamaican gangster movies because every time I watch that 80s hit Out for Justice with Steven Seagal and Screwface.
Oh, that's Marked for Death.
Is it Marked for Death?
Marked for Death.
So Marked for Death, y'all. Yeah. That's a great gangster Jamaican movie.
You know what they say about Screwface?
What's they say?
He have 2 head and 4 eye. If you ever watched Marked for Death.
Marked for Death.
I mean, I know.
That's a great movie.
I know Wes. Oh man, I hope Wes is still watching because I know he would get that one.
Yeah, Paul, we'll be at 4 episodes by Saturday.
I mean, dude, I've binge watched shows.
It's a good show. It's a good show. I liked it. I like it. I like it. So I think I'm on episode 5. So
and it definitely like heats up.
Yeah, it ramps up.
Like you like are seeing the like.
Yeah.
So what's the show deadline? How many shows in do you need to be?
4 episodes by Saturdays.
4 episodes. Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Shout out Jamie and Deshane.
Yeah, and Driz,
yeah.
And
is it like set in contemporary or is it set modern? I mean,
it's modern, but in London.
Yeah. Okay. But it's modern. That's
for sure. All right. We'll be back Saturday morning at 10:30. We'll talk. We'll see what happens Friday night. Talk a little bit about the games Friday night, and do a little college football preview. Of course, NBA playoffs will still be happening. So
yeah, we'll get everybody's betting lines for Saturday.
Zach, you're already leaving, but you want to give some shout outs?
Shout out to your hat.
Oh, thanks, man. Paul, shout outs.
Shout out to everybody here. Shout out to Snoop. Shout out to my dad and my mom and me and the Lord. And let everybody go home safe. Absolutely.
All right. I want to shout out to God, my parents down in Buda, and then I also want to shout out to, of course, you guys, Snoop, Texas Point Outdoors, Kreitz Market, all of our listeners and number one fans, Wes, BJ, Reed. Shout out Paul Partita, Steven Anguiano. Shout out to James. I haven't seen James in a while. Santa Cruz.
Dude, it's because he ate like fire in the whole wings tonight on his show.
One friend that just bought a house.
What?
What's that one guy's name?
Who? That
came to the 100th episode. Sat next to me.
Oh, Brad. Shout out to Brad. Shout out to everybody that's Shout out to my cousin Christina that was on the watch party. Shout out to Howard Gutman, Coach Gutman, Taylor, and of course our number one fan, Snoop Daniel. Paul, what do you think?
go buy some Kreitz Market, okay? Go get your barbecue. I'm going to get mine barbecue. But if you enjoyed the show, like, subscribe, and hit below, and hit the bell, and we'll let you know when we upload. We gone.